Welcome back to the Capital One Cup final. They had a pretty unique way of delivering silverware this day and age. Kevin Phillips, Niall Quinn, Jamie Redknapp alongside me. She's flying along, not being held down by much, is she, Kevin?
Oh, well, I hope the two blokes who are on her do their job for her, because they let go, she's gone.
She's going to pass that over to Sergeant Paul Harris, who will march it up to the plinth and put it into position before kick-off in this 54th League Cup. As you can see, atmosphere building wonderfully here at Wembley Stadium. The teams are lining up, waiting for Sergeant Harris to place that down on the plinth. We're very, very nearly set. Now, what's going through their minds right now?
Well, for Man City, they're trying to maybe just be business as usual. You know, we're a good side, lads. We're better than these, really. Come on, just play our game. Don't get distracted by things and don't get embroiled and stuff. On the other hand, then, you've Gus Poyet, and he's probably trying to reassure his guys, keep them a little bit calmer than they normally would, because this is a big, big moment for some of them, and it's so important that Gus has them enjoying the moment. And I think, he's giving them all a pat on the back there on the way out and saying, enjoy yourselves today, lads. This is what it's all about. You've played from the time you were at 10 at Wembley, Adam, to now. This is why you were doing it, to go out and give a star-studded performance.
Such a buzz that as you're walking out of Wembley, though, isn't it? Because no matter where you're from, Chile, you're from Uruguay, this is the home of football, and they all know it. Any player that comes over to play at this country always has that respect for this great stadium. And that's why they've got to enjoy it and just play to your maximum.
When you're watching these things, though, Kevin, you've been there and said that. How hard is it to control your anxiety and your excitement as a player? There's fireworks going off, the fans are screaming.
You've just got to try and draw in the experience. You've got to look at the players. That's where the team spirit comes in. You've got to try and help each other. And as we said, we keep saying you've just got to play the game. As soon as everything dies down, that whistle goes. You just got to think it's any other game, but you've got to do the things right. And I think that every game in a cup final, the first 15, 20 minutes, especially for Sunderland, is key. They've got to contain Man City. They've got to keep them, in front of them, not letting them get in behind, and just do everything they've been doing that's got them to this situation. And they've just got to enjoy the occasion.
And of course, sorry, Jamie, this is an important part of the ceremony and pomp. But I imagine all of those players are just desperate to get underway, aren't they?
Of course they are, but they've got to have to take their chances today, because they're going to come few and far between. There's going to have large spells without the ball, this Sunderland side today. So it's important the goalkeeper plays well, you defend well, and when you get opportunities, you take them. I think Borini up front is going to work hard. That's how he plays the game. He's got a big role to play. And I think also against Demichelis. Demichelis is yet to win over these Man City fans. He'll be a little bit nervous. He'll be well aware of all the criticism that he's had this last 4 or 5 weeks. And that's the player, the one weakness in this Man City side that I would look at if I was a Sunderland manager to identify today.
And the problem with Sunderland, of course, is if 1 or 2 of their players are off, this will open up gaps for Manchester City, and it will become a long, long day. So they all have to be right at it. And probably none more so than the keeper, Mannone. I think he's going to have a busy day. I think Sunderland's chances will depend on how he does. I think he's going to have a lot on today. But, it's even Steven right now. The build-up had a Man City way ahead. But right now, at this moment, with the nerves jangling and the players starting to sort themselves out, it's even Steven now.
You do get that feeling, though, if they play City, if they really play, that little fella there, David Silva, and Yaya Touré, and especially Nasri, if they play to their maximum, I just think they have too much. They have too much for Sunderland.
This match is for Manchester City for them to win.
And for him. He needs a big day today as well, doesn't he? Pellegrini needs to win that trophy.
Well, Sunderland have something to say about it.
We're getting close now. Of course, we finished the ceremony with the national anthem, which is going to be sung by Louise Dearman. What an opportunity for her to stand in front of these tens of thousands of fans here in fine voice at Wembley Stadium. There is Louise. Let's stop for a moment and just soak up a bit of atmosphere. OK, let's join our commentators for this afternoon's Capital One Cup final. Gary Neville, who's alongside Martin Tyler.
Well, thank you, Ben. Good afternoon, everyone. The staging of the build-up's been great. Let's hope the game is just as good. Manuel Pellegrini gives Costel Pantilimon a place in a final which Roberto Mancini controversially denied the Romanian in the FA Cup last May. But Joleon Lescott, who's played every minute of City's League Cup campaign, is stood down today for Martín Demichelis. A formidable foursome in midfield with Samir Nasri, recently returned to full fitness. And so too, Hope City is Sergio Agüero. Edin Džeko, who has scored in every round, is referred to Álvaro Negredo. As for Sunderland, they have a birthday boy in goal, Vito Mannone, 26 today. Wes Brown back from suspension, so it's a back four with 3 ex-Manchester United defenders aiming to shut out Manchester City. Lee Catamol almost left for Stoke after this season's semis, but is still needed by Sunderland today. And in comes Seb Larsson, who won this cup with Birmingham 3 years ago. Adam Johnson against the club he left 18 months ago. Sung-yueng, another previous League Cup winner as recently as last season. And Fabio Borini's needed up front, with Stephen Fletcher not fully fit and Josie Altidore out of form. Fletcher is named amongst the Sunderland substitutes. Manchester City leave out their 2 England squad members, Joe Hart and James Milner. So at least with Gary Neville alongside me, they should be fresh for Wembley on Wednesday. But it's about Wembley today, Gary, and a key, maybe in more ways than one, in Sunderland's midfield.
Yeah, we see the 2 managers there. Gus Poyet earlier on in the season played with Key in front of his back four. We've lined him up off the front today, and it'll be interesting to see whether he does play there. I have my reservations whether he'll play in such an advanced role. I think he will play more towards Catamol and Larsson and beef up that midfield.
And he's back after 5 games in which City have rather stuttered.
They need him so much, Manchester City. They've got a massive 2 months in front of them. They've got the Champions League game against Barcelona. They've got the Premier League, and he is the best. And it's a risk today playing him at Wembley, coming back from a hamstring injury, and they'll be desperate for him to get through this match.
Martin Atkinson refereed the FA Cup final 3 years ago when Manchester City beat Stoke to win their first trophy since the League Cup in 1976. Assisted by Stephen Child and Simon Long. Well, you know, it's a City day when the supporters are facing away for just a moment. They'll get that done with. I think they'll want to watch every moment of this. He certainly will, Manuel Pellegrini. Gus Poyet has rebuilt Sunderland in the last 6 months or so from a start that was sad and sorrowful and unfortunate for Paolo Di Canio, who was, I guess, rightly deemed responsible for it. But if they win today, in Gus Poyet's own words, they will be the happiest club in England. The odds are against them, but they were back in 1973, and those heroes have been on display. But it's about 2014. And the 54th League Cup final, the 7th here at the new Wembley. Off we go. And Zabaleta, a happy time in the FA Cup final, as Manchester City did collectively. It's strange that they face the team that beat them here in May, Wigan, in the quarter-finals of this season, the FA Cup, as recently as next Sunday. Yaya Touré. Kolarov preferred to Clichy at left-back.
It's Catamol for Sunderland, who's dropped into that deep-lying midfield roles instead of Key. Key and Larsson are operating in front of him.
Well, Manchester City out today to avoid the experience of Arsenal 3 years ago when, like City, they were trying to win a quadruple. We're also, like City here, overwhelming favourites for the League Cup against their Premier League struggler and relegation-bound Birmingham City. But Arsenal lost that day at Wembley, and their season then disintegrated on all 4 fronts. You really can't see that happening to a squad as talented as Pellegrini's, although the Champions League might be a step too far for them after that home defeat to Barcelona. Phil Bardsley's been immense in Sunderland's progress to this day. And of course, he didn't feature at all under Di Canio. Here is Key, but the whistle's gone, and it's Sunderland's free kick.
Well, lads mentioned in the studio, I think for Sunderland it's just getting through this first 15-20 minutes, playing the way into the game. They'll be happy if nothing happens.
Brown and O'Shea have done so much together. And recently, of course, in the red and white stripes. Before that, in the Manchester United red shirts, winning this competition a couple of times each. David Silva. Martin Atkinson had a good look at the challenge and didn't see anything wrong.
I thought it was back in 1973 then. You don't normally get away with a tackle that ferocious, particularly when you follow through.
Here's Johnson. Manoeuvred by Kolarov, touch from David Silva, none the worse for receiving that challenge. Kompany. What we've got here really is a top-of-the-range model against a vehicle of more modest horsepower. Kolarov. Can't quite keep it in.
And Kolarov, he's got the one-on-one battle against Johnson. You see this Phil Bardsley tackle again. It's a proper tackle. He's took the lot.
How did you keep him out of the side then, Manchester United?
Oh dear. Surprised Martin Atkinson's let him get away with that.
Forward by Brown.
Talk about Phil Bardsley. He's going to need Adam Johnson to do his work defensively, following Kolarov back. And charge on the Manchester City left back.
Keith quite prepared to come deep and collect it off the central defenders. Marcos Alonso actually made his debut for Sunderland in the semi-final first leg against Manchester United and ended up as man of the match. No team, incidentally, has ever won the League Cup by beating both Manchester clubs. I think it's only ever happened once in FA Cup history with Everton back in 1966. So Pantilimon over Hart.
Well, you would have thought that, I mean, he's played in the competition, so he's gone down that route, but so has Joleon Lescott as well, so he's altered it for one position, not for another. Pellegrini.
I think you can understand on a midweek night when there's games the weekend before and the weekend afterwards by rotating for the earlier rounds of the League Cup. That doesn't apply to a weekend final. In a clear week of build-up, it's a clear week before they play again. It's surely the time to pick your best team.
Well, he alluded to the cup final last year and other reasons why he's not playing Joe Hart.
Kolarov has already got forward on 2 or 3 occasions.
Well, Phil Bardsley's having a word with Adam Johnson. He's going to need him to do a better job than that. And he's just going to get Penn back into that portion of the pitch.
That week of preparation for Sunderland as well. Gus Poyet won't want to see his team chip a goal to a set piece.
There's Wes Brown. Just gets his head to it. They've got good height, City. Džeko, Yaya Touré, Kompany and Demichelis.
Kompany likes to go towards the near post. It's over him. Džeko coming in. Demichelis had a swing at it. Stabbed across by David Silva. Headed out by Marcos Alonso. Zabaleta had stayed back. Lovely switch of play. Silva trying the 1-2. That could have deflected anywhere as Samir Nasri closed down John O'Shea.
Well, it is in that channel where I always think City are most dangerous, with Silva and Agüero when they play together. Obviously Kolarov's making it a 3 down that side.
Sunderland have revelled in the release from relegation pressure which cup games can bring. They've won 8 of their 9 cup ties this season, and the only one that ended in defeat actually ended in a victory with a penalty shootout after the 2-1 scoreline against them at Old Trafford. Kolarov again. All considered from Manchester City this time. Sunderland have never won this competition. One final in 1985. They lost to an own goal on a day when they missed a penalty as well. And were relegated at the end of that season, as were the club that beat them, incidentally, Norwich City. There's a chance for the first sign of a breakout from Sunderland. Borini. Keeping away from Demichelis. Johnson. And the flag has gone up. A long time before the ball ended up in the net.
Yeah, he did really well, that Manchester City back line. It's Kompany in the middle. Just push up as he cuts inside. See them there, just move up together. Good organisation.
Maybe Johnson's wondering if he just kept going. It's one way to beat a back line like that. A bit of a handoff into the face of Agüero. He's not made anything of it, to his credit. Borini trying to head it on.
We saw there straight away though why Borini's playing those runs in behind Demichelis. I'm sure he'll focus on his side.
And it's Kolarov to go forward for City again. Agüero. And he's still going, and it's turned away by Mannone. Retrieved by Džeko. Kolarov. Struggling to get out, Sunderland, at the moment.
He's small, Agüero, but he's so strong. First sign of his brilliance.
Touré. Manuel taking it away from David Silva, but Manchester City come again with Nasri and Silva. Zabaleta. There's Agüero. Lovely touch to him by Silva. Sunderland digging in, defending narrow. Plenty of players behind the ball, knowing that an onslaught could easily come their way. They must withstand it if they're going to have any chance of making history for the Wearside club.
Well, that Sunderland midfield five will be under no illusions about how difficult this day is going to be from a running point of view.
Borini, he could be in here, he's all alone, he scored! Sensation at Wembley from Sunderland and Fabio Borini. They've hardly got out of their own half, but they've taken the lead against the favourites, Manchester City. What a goal!
Well, it's sensational for Sunderland. Borini chosen, we talked about the speed in behind Demichelis. He just puts it into an area, Seb Larsson, they're so high. Goes out to the side. He runs it behind Demichelis. It's Vincent Kompany who gets wrong side. But once he gets into this area, has he got the composure and the quality? You bet he has. He can't run the Manchester City full at centre-back. It's the outside of the right foot. It's a sensational start for Sunderland. And they've got something to hang on to now.
Well, it's a dagger into the heart of Manchester City. Gus Poyet, who could become the Bob Stoker of the 21st century. They had to wait a little bit longer back in '73 for the one goal that won them the FA Cup. Their last major trophy. But what a beginning. And Borini, an Italian job for the club for the northeast of England.
Well, for Sunderland to have any chance of lifting this trophy, they had to score first, and they have done.
Here's Marcus Alonso. There will be some Manchester City players out there thinking, Wigan, last May. And of course, Ben Watson won it with a goal right at the end of the match.
Well, that's the positive for City. They've got time to react.
Nasri. Agüero. Here's Silva. Sunderland would have recognised that they would have to spend long periods of this game set up as they are now, with City getting into the attacking third. They've got to try and squash out the Manchester talents, the David Silvas, the Agüeros, the Nasris. And now the fullbacks are full on. Zabaleta. And that's not even to mention Yaya Touré, who's got 16 goals himself this season.
Well, Manchester City will be used to this against Sunderland. They've been up to the Stadium of Light. Many an occasion where those Sunderland players have been camped in their own box, haven't been able to break them down.
Silva's corner. He got ahead to it. Johnson the furthest forward for Sunderland, so it's going to come back at the red and white stripe, but not very accurately from Fernandinho's pass. Johnson. Here's Jack Colback, asked to do a job on the left today. Backed up by Marcus Alonso from left back. And bended in towards Borini. And players like John O'Shea and Wes Brown can cross the halfway line for the first time.
Well, on the 3 counter-attacks they've had, Sunderland, they've done well. The centre-backs taking the time to go forward. They'll need some respite. They're going to be put under a lot of pressure in this match.
Powwow on the edge of the Manchester City penalty area. And the ex-Manchester United trio. Larsson has very good delivery from dead ball situations. Oh, he's asked for a corner, he's got it. Borini could have had a second.
I think it was Džeko that it deflected off. It just set up nicely for Borini. He pulled out towards the edge of the box. Just comes off the back of Edin Džeko. They're just trying to disturb Yaya Touré, who's in that near post zone. It's Phil Bardsley who got across him in the last corner.
Outswinger this time. Pellegrini won't be happy to see Wes Brown out jumping the Manchester City defenders.
The contact was good from Wes Brown, just couldn't direct it.
Well, we're used to this scoreline at the Stadium of Light, Gary, aren't we? 4 consecutive seasons, including this season. It's been Sunderland 1, Manchester City 0 in the Premier League.
Sunderland and City players will be aware of that. Still have to think there's a long way to go. It's not the Stadium of Light, it's a huge old pitch here at Wembley.
Zabaleta. Nasri.
See where Catamol there sat in front of Wes Brown, John O'Shea. He's got to be disciplined today. Just stay there all day.
Touré. In stepped O'Shea, collected by Kolarov. Here's Johnson. It's a bit early to be mocking the opposing fans, but goodness me, there's been so much interest up in the northeast. Tickets at a premium. Manchester City fans more used to occasions like this in recent times, but remember it was, what, 35 years between the League Cup success of '76 and winning the FA Cup here in 2011, when the money started to come in, of course, to the blue side of Manchester.
Well, whatever happens today, those Sunderland fans have had a great 17 minutes.
Yeah. gaining its own history. And certainly that Borini goal, its nature, and maybe at the end of the afternoon its significance, will be another chapter. Touré, hold off the eager Kolbach. And Atkinson has given Manchester City the free kick. Demichelis. Johnson getting behind the ball a little bit better. Kolarov's got behind him. Barzi's come out. Johnson's got to track Nasri. This has forced the Frenchman to play it back to Touré. Nasri and Silva have switched sides at the moment. Nasri now more in the middle as Silva comes from the right. Here is Nasri. Touré's flick. Nasri was covered well by Alonso. So if Vito Mannone can do what Jim Montgomery did in 1973 and keep a clean sheet, you heard as Jim made that astonishing double save and that success over Leeds, who probably even more heralded at the time than Manchester City are in 2014. There's defending from the front, from the goal scorer.
Yeah, the three things you thought Sunderland would have to do today was score first, the goalkeeper have a good day and have a bit of luck. Borini there working. He's got the bit between his teeth. He's made a couple of runs in between Kompany and in behind Demichelis. They've got a problem there, City. Teams are really going to target that area when he plays.
And a penny for the thoughts of Joleon Lescott, who played every minute of City's run to this League Cup final, but been left out on the big day.
Well, the thing about Demichelis is I don't think he realises how slow he is. He pushes up the pitch and leaves space behind him. When there's space and time on the ball, Borini just runs into the space.
A player well known to Manuel Pellegrini. Presumably that just gives him a little bit of an edge when it comes to selection.
It's okay having no pace, but you really have to drop if there's time on the ball and players who are quicker than you are running behind you. He's experienced as well, there's no excuse.
Recently sent off, of course, home to Barcelona.
It must be said Kompany made a mistake after that as well. Got the wrong side, tried to win the ball rather than just shepherd Borini down the line.
By the vigilant Brown. Clubs did meet in a final as recently as last July in Hong Kong in the Barclays Asia Trophy. City won that 1-0. It was a dreadful pitch, very different circumstances. Edin Džeko, who is playing, scored the only goal. Here's Agüero. Nicked from him by Catamol. Borini can run off Demichelis here, but Johnson looks in a different direction towards Kolbach. He's done enough to get Sunderland a throw.
Not natural left winger, Kolbach. Zabaleta is a huge threat for City going forward. Do well to stay with him.
Key. By Larsson to Johnson. They've been in great form. Might have been a foul by Adam Johnson against his old teammates. It's part of the pitch where you encourage players to try the difficult thing. It didn't quite come off for the former Manchester City man then.
Showing frustration there, Yaya Touré.
And the only surprise about that is it's as low as 55%. Someone would not have come here expecting to boss control of the football. Zabaleta. David Silva. Into space for Nasri. Sunderland with all but Borini behind the ball. Breaks down again for Manchester City.
Remember, only this is the Mannone save from Agüero. And then 75 seconds later, that little pass in behind Demichelis, gets wrong side Kompany, tries to steal the ball. Well, that is some finish.
Yeah. An Italian job at both ends of the pitch. Key, beaten to it by the long legs of Touré. Talking to Marcos Alonso before the game about his dad, who made his Spain debut in a Wembley win against England in the early 1980s, and his grandfather also played for Spain against England at the old stadium. Met by Demichelis and over Marcos Alonso. Brown making his own control against Agüero's. Drop for Larsson. Touch was an assured one for Key. Very different kind of experience in the League Cup final for the South Korean that was a year ago when he was in the Swansea side that justified their overwhelming favourites tag. Here's Kolbach. Catamol. He loves going forward. It's a fairly straightforward offside decision.
He's got his hands in his head, Phil Bars. He should have played the pass quicker. It's a good run from Larsson. Who knows?
There's a real chatterbox for character. But you can find anyone to talk to then. Uruguayan versus Chilean in terms of the two coaches. Pushed by Touré. And he's bounced the ball down somewhat petulantly then.
And he's been like this for a couple of minutes. He was actually limping about a minute ago, Yaya Touré. Doesn't look happy.
No offside. Kolbach. Fernandinho trying to curb him. Retrieved by Johnson for Sunderland. By Zabaleta. Key gets there before Džeko. Well, he said earlier, old-fashioned stuff, and a bit more of it then. But Agüero gets away from Marcos Alonso. Wes Brown backpedaling. Nasri just couldn't strike it with sufficient power to trouble Mannone.
It's Agüero the danger again. I don't think City will be too unhappy if Sunderland start throwing themselves out of the position, out of their structure. I think when they do that, there are gaps. And Nasri finds one. It's a difficult one for him to control. Just can't get the shot away, really. No power on it.
Moving in to try and score as he did score, of course, against Chelsea recently in the FA Cup. And he has scored at Wembley in the last 12 months. Also against Chelsea in the semi-final of the FA Cup last season. Big game coming up for you next weekend. Chelsea, the league leaders, against Tottenham, trying to stay in touch with the top four from 5 Sky Sports 1 and also available on 3D. Touch on by Silva. Gary, you've been in back fours with O'Shea and Brown, and you know, are they very well set to deal with a situation like this?
Well, they've got the experience and the know-how. They're intelligent defenders. They know their positions.
Another Sunderland free kick.
What they have to be careful of, obviously, is Agüero. If he gets them one-on-one in the box, then they're in trouble. But that's the same for any defender in world football. Just need that protection in that situation.
I guess we'll only find as the afternoon wears on how much of a gamble it is by Manchester City to play Agüero.
He's looked sharp, I have to say, in this first half hour. The 2 or 3 times he's got the ball.
Well, he failed to score in 3 of the 5 games he missed. When we say Manchester City have failed to score, that's a big story. Johnson. Oh, Kompany sorted his legs out in the end. Fernandinho sorted the situation out. But it could easily have been 2-0.
Well, it's down that side again. Kolarov and Demichelis. Adam Johnson actually tried to do this a few moments ago. Take Kolarov down the line. No problem with Demichelis this time. He's scrambling in the end. Fernandinho clears it. They knew the weakness, they found him, and they're targeting him really well.
Catamol, Key. Can't quite get it down and play, as they would have enjoyed doing then. It was one thought, Gary, a stopgap signing. With the risk at City, when Kompany's out injured, they haven't looked the same sort of side, and Demichelis' experience might be used for that, but he's found himself more often than not in the team alongside Kompany when he is fit.
Well, he's not stopping many gaps.
Zabaleta. Nasri. Come here and get touches if you're a Manchester City player. Sunderland are quite happy with that. Touré. Kompany. They shuttle across as a unit. A team in red and white stripes. Fernandinho. Discipline, organisation, concentration. That's a premium for Poyet's players.
Well, they really will need it because the quality that City have and the confidence with all the goals they've scored this season. They've come back many times in games. They won't panic. It's just whether they can stop Sunderland keep breaking out on them.
Silva, Nasri, David Silva. That's a lovely ball. And when it was guided across goal by Samir Nasri, Sunderland, well, almost the first time really stretched.
Oh, it's brilliant football from City. The way in which he played that pass over David Silva. So Phil Barton did brilliantly because Agüero was just about to pull the trigger.
Nasri has to go back to David Silva again. Fernandinho. Probing. Patiently. Manchester City, a goal down at Wembley. That'll be a corner. Colbeck trying to be cool. having brought it down nicely, just couldn't get it away. Went out the ball going behind. Nasri will take it. Demichelis this time making a run, looking to find a gap. Doesn't quite come to him. Kolarov is there. Kompany's turn. And it's gone... It's the point that it went out. It definitely went out. It's the corner. Sunderland were asking as to whether it had gone out as Kompany turned back to the byline. Wasn't the case. Kolarov going to the near post. Oh. Well, Borini, a hero at the other end of the pitch.
How many times you see defenders switch off on that first one? Gets played in, but he's alive, Borini. Yaya Touré stole in behind Phil Bardsley at the back post. That's brilliant work from Borini at both ends of the pitch in this first half hour.
How many times do you see forwards fallible in those situations as well? Borini wasn't.
He used to switch off.
Here's Johnson. City's throw. Again, breakout not dissimilar to the one that brought Sunderland this 1-0 lead.
All those counter-attacks, I think there's been 4 of them now. They've been down that side.
Džeko. Room between the lines for David Silva. That wasn't there for long.
It's the one thing about City without Navas and Nasri and Silva playing, that they have to work the way up the pitch in wide areas rather than that blistering pace on the counter-attack.
They're trying to work the ball up the pitch now, but they have to go backwards before they can think about going forwards. I often feel, Gary, going towards the end of a half when all the effort's gone in and the underdogs have done well, they are at their most vulnerable. Sustain the discipline that's needed to protect the position of the 1-0 lead. Right to the half-time whistle. And take a terrific effort from Gus Poyet's team.
So just what Sunderland's tactic is. They're showing City wide. Really have all the players trying as much as possible, Sunderland, to be within the width of the 18-yard box. Happy for City to have it in wide areas. That would change if Navas came on.
Back from Kompany. Forward from Marcos Alonso. Pushing the back, Borini thought, from Fernandinho. Key. Here's Larsson. Borini ahead of him. Johnson. Dangerous right-hand side position with his excellent left foot. And having not made the big England squad, disappointment that his recent form hasn't made that step up again, but here's a real platform for him to show that he can still be considered. Roy Hodgson did mention him in dispatches at the press conference when the squad was announced. Touré. Ball back goes flying in. And yeah, it's a bit wild from Alonso. Well, you mentioned he's been feeling a bit of pain.
It's been a frustrating first half for him. Some of that Barnes tackle on Silva is similar to that from Colback.
Only with the interception. We've got 5 players thinking about going forward here. Sunderland. Haven't seen that too often. What a polished play from Brown. O'Shea. Barnsley gets support from Key. Come out here to Alonso. Zabaleta trying to win it on the touch from the Spaniard. Didn't let him do that.
The confidence is rising for Sunderland. It might sound like a daft thing to say, but you don't want them to get too confident.
And that was a pass that carried a hint of risk from Key. O'Shea. And that's what can happen. They've got 2 against 2 now. Agüero's got Džeko with him. Sunderland getting other players back. Agüero trying a bit too much. He's capable of plenty, of course, as an individual. But we know about Manchester City as individuals. At the moment, the team ethic is coming from Sunderland. Oh, he looked offside. But Borini's in again. And it's a wonderful tackle by Kompany. And they're furious, Manchester City, that the flag didn't go up. Gary Neville.
Oh, he was offside. I don't think the linesman saw the actual touch. Just a touch there. Oh, he's just offside. Demichelis doesn't fancy running back again. I have to say, Kompany does. It's a wonderful challenge. That would have been big trouble. He opened himself up to try and hit it with the inside of his right foot, Borini. He just gets back, Vincent Kompany. You might look back at that moment, though, Sunderland fans.
Well, they've still got a corner. Larsson will take. All sorts of bumping and boring going on. And Demichelis angry with Bardsley, who can be a bit provocative, but Demichelis is no shrinking violet. Bardsley is being spoken to. He scored twice in this League Cup run. He forced the own goal, went down to Ryan Giggs in the semi-final first leg. And he got the winner against Manchester City in the Premier League in November. Another corner from Larsson. Pantilimon's done well. A really good clearing punch.
No nonsense. Didn't want to take the risk. Tried by his manager.
He must be thrilled, Gus Poyet. The only problem is there's still 6 minutes to go in the first half. If he's worrying if there's 6 minutes to go in the match. But they've followed instructions to the letter.
It's been a really good performance. City have been well below par.
Over Džeko, then over Agüero.
I haven't seen anything of him, Džeko. No real urgency from him at all.
6 goals he scored in his 4 appearances in this competition this season. Didn't feature in the semi-final second leg. Well, I don't know whether Martin Atkinson was given a foul, whether he thought also for a moment that the flag was going to go up. Colback was in a promising position had he let play go on the referee.
He's just signalling that he's swept his legs.
Here's Kolarov. Corner. That was how Manchester City started. Kolarov running beyond Adam Johnson, threatening down that side of the pitch before Sunderland on that same far side found a way through the opposition that are going for the league title, the FA Cup, but Sunderland are also in themselves, of course, and still with a shout in the Champions League. They're not allowed shout. Bumping and boring in here. Martin Atkinson sees nothing wrong. Points for the goal kick.
Kompany wins the first ball. I think it's Alonso who ends up with Demichelis. Thought he might just have pulled him to the ground a little bit. There's a little bit of his arms around him. Just falls though, I think, Demichelis too easily. Tries a little bicycle kick.
Plenty of non-loving hugs. Throw. The target now is to get to half-time with the lead still intact.
There's a sign of how well Sunderland have done in this last period of the game. Really had a great first half.
Barnsley losing out. It wasn't so great. Brown can step in. Jesús Navas, but they've got a whole raft of players who can help sort this out in the second half. And it's Pellegrini's substitutes.
I wonder whether he may even look at it at half-time, Pellegrini.
Here's Kolarov again. This is the worry for Sunderland. Oh, and the ricochet. That's gone their way. You mentioned the luck. One of the commodities that they need if they're going to see it through here and really write not just a page but a whole chapter in the history of this competition. It's, of course, the first major trophy available in the English season. Comes with a place in the Europa League, which City win. Of course, I don't think they'll need. They'll qualify for the Champions League. Doesn't go to the runners-up, incidentally. Passes to Premier League status. Touré. Big couple of minutes for Sunderland here. And indeed for Manchester City, who'd love to go in on level terms. And being behind for much of this first half. And here's Zabaleta. Well, almost on the shout, not just of the Sunderland players, but 31,000 Sunderland fans. And a horseshoe around that end of the stadium. Handball was their cry.
Better ball from Fernandinho. His ball watching Alonso. He wanted the ball further in field. In the end, it gets played over him. Just to track back and get it.
Handball?
The linesman had the best view down this side.
He gave it. So, fair dues. Zabaleta, he had a red card at Wembley in a final before. Keeping his thoughts to himself. Touré, put away from Colback. Agüero, foot race with O'Shea. Just got a foot to the ball, but Silva snaps it up. Here's Agüero for Kolarov. That's what pressure does to you. A relaxed Manchester City would have played their way in.
He was in between Agüero, whether to play it into Silva or to Kolarov. It was a race to start with, and he picks up the second ball, David Silva. Just see here now, I think he gets caught between the two. Who's he playing in there? Probably Silva, I would say, when the wider one was probably a better option.
The fourth official is heading out with the ball, Neil Swarbrick. Someone so close to going in the Capital One Cup final at half-time, leading Manchester City, the overwhelming favourites, by a goal to nil. Zabaleta. Demichelis. Fernandinho. David Silva. And Fernandinho still there. It's a tumble to the ground, no more than that. That really should be half-time. Quick summary from you, Gary?
No, Gus Poyet will be absolutely delighted. Pellegrini won't be happy. I would imagine that he'll be sort of laying down the law to a few of these players at half-time, saying, you know, I'll be making substitutions. Not had enough out of his quality. I would say Džeko in particular looks mobile up front.
Well, it's an Italian influence. Borini with the goal very shortly after Mannone, with a significant save from the returning Sergio Agüero. And it stayed that way for most of the first half. Sunderland fans almost looking on in disbelief. But at the break, at Wembley, in the Capital One Cup final, it is Manchester City 0, Sunderland 1.
Martin, thank you very much indeed. A thoroughly gripping half of Cup final football. We'll get the thoughts of Kevin, Niall and Jamie when we return. But it's the Black Cats, the underdogs, who lead here. Fabio Borini, Gus Poyet, you can see just what it means. We'll look back on that first half when we return. Got some Spanish football for you coming up on Sky Sports this weekend. Atletico Madrid versus Real Madrid, the Madrid derby, 3:55 Sky Sports 4 today. Followed at 5:55 on Sky Sports 1, Sevilla against Real Sociedad. And then Barcelona play this evening at 8 o'clock against Almeria on Sky Sports 1. Kevin Phillips, Niall Quinn, Jamie Redknapp alongside me. Kevin, you've been surprised at how easily Sunderland have been able to impose themselves on Manchester City?
Yeah, I have a little bit, but they've been outstanding, every one of the Sunderland players. And that was in the first minute. That set the tempo for the rest of the match. And every time, as I said, a Man City player got the ball, Sunderland just harassed them. There was 2 players to every Man City player, and they just never give up. Whether they can continue doing that for the next 45 minutes remains to be seen. But, you know, they've got their towels up, they're a goal in front. They won't want to, you know, won't let that slip. And, you know, Gus Poyet will be saying, keep doing what you're doing.
So how do they turn it around, though?
Manchester City?
Yeah.
Well, I think you've got to make a couple of changes. Džeko, Negredo, you know, something like that. And maybe Navas as well to come on for Nasri, because those 2 players have done nothing for City first half. OK,
let's join the commentators for the second half, Gary Neville and Martin Tyler.
Thanks, Ben. Sunderland starting the second half. They come here having won 4 of their last 6 matches in all competitions, and in all those 4 victories they have kept clean sheets. And they're a clean sheet away from winning a cup here. But that position gotten straight away by Silva and then Džeko. Now Fernandinho. Making the run. That was enough to force the safety first tactic at the cost of a corner.
They have to show an incredible amount of defiance in this second half, Sunderland, to withstand what will be, I'm sure, attack after attack by Manchester City.
Going towards the near post. It's Demichelis. Oh. There's Kolbach who got it away, and Mannone was waiting behind him, but Jack Kolbach was taking no chances. If you leave that and the goalkeeper's unsighted, suddenly it's 1-1.
He couldn't leave it.
But yet you talk about wave after wave, and that was the perception of the first half, but the possession wasn't like that, was it, Gary?
No, I think it was 52-48. I think, like I say, you would imagine that City's tactic of wanting to wear this Sunderland team out, they haven't had the possession in the first half that you would say is really going to do that. Sunderland equalled it out towards the end of the first half.
Nasri. And to Zabaleta from Touré. Well, in the end, it produced a few oohs, but nothing too dangerous to the Sunderland goal.
I think that's where they'll be happy. Zabaleta, who is a good attacker, and Kolarov, it's the least of the dangers.
He was hired to bring in trophies, but in 9 seasons previously in Europe, haven't won any. Not, of course, always at clubs capable of winning trophies. He got Villarreal way up the league, which was almost worthy of a trophy.
He can't wait too long at the second half. I'm sure he'll give it 5-10 minutes, but he has to intervene at some point.
Ball has gone out on the far side, taken just over the line by Marcus Alonso. This time it's Sunderland's ball. Key. He was caught after he laid the ball off then.
I think the ex-Manchester City manager was doing the game in Istanbul in the week. He waited 30 minutes, no longer, before he made a substitution to change the way they were playing. Pellegrini showing more patience.
It must be tempting Not that I have any personal experience of it, but when you've got so many talented players at your disposal, you sort of think one of them will do something and get you out of a jam.
As mentioned in the studio, the introduction of Negredo and Navas being the two obvious ones.
Kolarov, Touré, now Džeko. Had a pretty ineffective first half.
He'd be the one that would be under threat first, I think.
Álvaro Negredo limbering up. Fernandinho, after this, has got a pressing engagement with Brazil, a later chance really to get into their World Cup squad. Only won 5 caps before, mostly because he's been playing in Ukraine. There's Zabaleta. Fernandinho. Plenty behind the ball, but David Silva has a shot, and Mannone saw it coming, and that wasn't easy, because there are a lot of players between him and the Spaniard who hit the ball.
They all got over to that side. Alonso just stepped off David Silva, opened up for him. Not really enough power on the shot from David Silva. Comfortable for the goalkeeper.
Key, miscued. Get it back again off Zabaleta. Alonso, here's Jack Colback. Kompany drawn across, Demichelis drawn across. Colback. Marcus Alonso. Key. There's a long way out. It needed saving. And Pantilimon just seemed to be taken a little bit by surprise.
Well, I should have caught it, Pantilimon. Just decides to go for the safe option. Some distance out he was, Key, hit it well.
Well, you should speak to your goalkeeping coaches. They don't want that swerving ball to be caught these days.
No. Finger the past.
A huge man, the Romanian, in Manchester City's goal today. When the votes ahead of Joe Hart. It's Brown. And Key, oh, that would have been offside, it wouldn't have counted. Bardsley looking for another Capital One Cup goal. Now, you might keep an eye on Agüero to see how much match sharpness he might have lost after a month on the sidelines. You can't do too much with a hamstring problem.
No, if I was a Manchester City fan, player or coach, I'd be worried to death about losing him for the next 4 or 5 weeks in what's a critical time of the season for City. Hamstrings are notoriously can let you down when you come back from them, particularly on a day like today. Wembley can find you out.
Saying he got the ball. Sunderland had the ball, so if it was a foul, Martin Atkinson was simply allowing the game to go on. Key.
Agüero's in the Argentina squad as well. Travelling to Romania after this. It's not just the risk of today, it's what comes after this as well.
Zabaleta, Silva. Touré. He got in the way and it breaks to Borini. He hasn't got much support, but fancies running past Demichelis, but the experienced South American was not caught out that time.
He's completely out of sorts, Yaya Touré. First 52 minutes this match.
Zabaleta shaking off the persistent attentions of Colback. Manchester City fans behind the goal, around the side of the pitch, that in the half that City are attacking now. He has his own way of breaking up the play.
I say they won't mind breaking up the play. I think for City, rather than react to the challenge, just get the ball down and play again. Work those Sunderland legs. Sunderland will be happy to stop the game.
They fought hard in terms of the aggressive side of their football. Sunderland, 19 yellow cards, 11 more than the next highest defenders in this League Cup run. They dig in, and they could be digging in for glory here.
They're going to try something here, City. Someone better be alive.
2 in the wall, Nasri. There it is, it's elaborate.
Oh, it's so obvious. The fact that Touré wasn't on the ball, it was obvious that he was going to become involved at some point.
In by Nasri. And a bit of hesitation by Larsson. He's been told to get up. Atkinson didn't see that as a foul. Swede is limping. Touré! Oh! It's an astonishing equaliser. I said Pellegrini might wait for a moment of magic from the individual talents in his team. You have just seen it.
Out of sorts, no more Yaya Touré. He's had one of the quietest 53 minutes of the season. And probably his best minute just there. Absolutely sensational from him. Just looked like another normal Manchester City attack where they work it from side to side. Never for 1 minute did he look like he was going to set to hit it. But it's sensational how he gets the power, the bend, the direction. And it's a wonderful, wonderful goal. Mannone, absolutely no chance. What a sensational moment for Manchester City and Touré.
Out of sorts, and then out of this world. 1-1 at Wembley. Here comes Sunderland. Catamol. Alonso. Safety dealt with by Kolarov. It can be very vulnerable when you've just scored, particularly when you've got a goal that means so much. It may well be a terrific turning point. It is! How about that from Samir Nasri? They've found their mojo now, Manchester City. 2 amazing goals. From 1-0 down to 2-1 up. Sunderland stunned this time.
Well, world-class moments from Manchester City. The mistakes there from Wes Brown. He allows Agüero to pick that ball up and turn. He just pulls the ball back behind the defence. The strike from Nasri is sensational. Not an easy one to hit. We saw Borini hit one with the outside of his right foot. And we've just seen Nasri set it off around Alonso inside that post and turn this final on its head.
Unstoppable. Goals born of genius for the favourites. That's why they're the favourites.
I think it's Agüero that's coming off. Sensible decision from Pellegrini.
Well, there were certainly signs of Agüero fading at the point when Manchester City were mounting and producing in a game that has now given us 3 really remarkable goals. Hitting the back of Mannone's net twice in 1 minute 45 seconds.
It's always going to be a huge task for Sunderland. I have to say they've been done by 2 incredible strikes.
Well, it's no great tactical ploy, is it? It's individual quality.
That's the benefit Bristol had. Silva now got that shit up front.
It's on to put. It's a vibe. Scarves are waving. They're trying to inspire the team to clear their heads and come again. And who's to say they're not capable of doing that? They've knocked out the current Premier League leaders. They've knocked out the defending Premier League champions. But the successors to Manchester United, in many experts' eyes, are leading them 2-1 at Wembley here. And down goes Kolarov, and Martin Atkinson doesn't give a penalty, and he doesn't give a yellow card for a dive.
He goes down belatedly. Kolarov. I don't think Sunderland at this moment in time just kicks Phil Bardsley's right ankle. I don't think Sunderland at this moment in time can be thinking about getting back in this game. They have to think about the fact that City could take this game away from them very quickly.
Seb Larsson off. We've got to gamble with Fletcher's fitness now. Adam Johnson coming off as well. That wasn't in his script. Craig Gardner, a winner here with Birmingham against all the odds in that final against Arsenal 3 years ago. So Fletcher give Borini some help through the middle. Gardner, just a few days ago, scored a stunning winning goal in the FA Cup against Southampton, the Stadium of Light. An hour gone, but what a start to the second half from Manchester City.
I'm still thinking about Yaya Touré. He almost walked up to that ball to strike it. Usually, when people are hitting the ball from that distance, you'll see it actually come before it happens, but he almost just... It was a languid style of Yaya Touré, and the way he got the power into the strike was incredible.
He's a strange mixture from being the most languid player on the pitch and then the most powerful player on the pitch, pretty much in every game he plays. As if he's got a switch inside that he can flick, and when he does, he can be unplayable. And here comes Kolarov, and now Nasri looking for another world-class goal.
They're going to get chances here, City, there's no doubt about that. Sunderland have gone 4-4-2. Borini joins Fletcher up front. This time Nasri can't repeat his magic 5 minutes ago.
The balance, I hear what you're saying, Gary, about Gus Poyet's problem. If he tilts the balance too much in trying to immediately hit back, all the way that they've shut out for a long period, Manchester City might be throwing too much caution to the wind, is what I'm saying.
I think at this moment in time, you just want to bed in for 10 minutes if you're Sunderland, just stop the flow, get the game calm again. Those Manchester City fans are up behind the goal. You almost want the game to relax a little bit before you can start to think about coming back into it. Trying to fight fire with this City team could be dangerous.
It could be terminal. So Touré now 17 goals this season. Wembley is his forte, of course, a semi-final winner against Manchester United, and then the winner in the final itself in the FA Cup in the 10-11 season. He loves this place. Isn't going to change Martin Atkinson's mind. And these are moments you've got to try and make count if you're Sunderland. City, probably the whole psyche switch from panicking about losing another cup final to a team that they should beat, to now thinking, well, it's our day, we've scored 2 phenomenal goals. What next? Of course, Fletcher actually brings a bit more aerial power as well. The best header of goals. But this is almost unique, really.
It's the actual little walk, little step towards the ball. And how he generates that bend and curve and power.
You don't see this very often, all that. And to get it at a big time on a big stage. Wow. What a feeling for Samir Nasri. and for Manchester City. Demichelis will be feeling a bit better. He doesn't seem the kind of guy, he's a very pleasant guy off the pitch, but takes it too much to heart. He's a professional defender. And in South America, they breed plenty of them. He's fouled Fletcher. It's been another great competition, this Capital One Cup this season, and it's having a climax worthy of what we've seen right from the beginning in the early weeks of the season. And Sunderland do not rule them out of it yet.
They've got 6/7 players in the box. Be careful of the counter-attack against them. Certainly committing so many bodies forward.
Alonso. Pantilimon again prepared to punch. It's not a great punch this time. Ooh, shout for handball. It's on the blind side of the officials. Touré.
All Sunderland fans behind the goal. No, just top of the chest.
Touré has to defend again, but Demichelis squeezes it out. Here's Kolarov. Nasri. Fernandinho. O'Shea. Kompany's header, directed by Catamol. Free kick to Sunderland.
Brown are going to move forward on this one as well. John O'Shea thinking about it. Brown's gone.
O'Shea must surely go as well. Gardner takes depth to it and produces a corner.
Navas did well. Didn't fall for a Sunderland free kick we've seen many times this season, where they block off the back defender and get a man round the back.
Well, Pantilimon stayed on his line.
Demichelis did well. And 2 or 3 against him at the back post.
Need to come across and take it. It's diverted away from Alonso. Directed by Catamol. City starting to push out, having to check back. Knocked down by Fletcher. And he couldn't play it again, he would have been offside. And, hardly out of harm's way by Manchester City and Demichelis. Sunderland looking for a second wind, a second goal.
And they're certainly pushing so many bodies forward. They're absolutely right for the counter-attack for City. I suppose they have to. Trying to get back in this game early, Gus Poyet. He's not waiting.
Fletcher. Bardsley. Borini. Well, Fletcher could have turned, needed to be told, of course.
Where he was.
Third goal, you feel, would settle it for Manchester City. Nasri with that in mind. Not this time. Manchester City, the club with all the money these days, but they, back in the 1950s, Sunderland were known as the Bank of England club. And Short probably wouldn't describe himself as quite that depth of pockets, but he's done a great job. He was saying in his interview with us before the game, it's been a really testing season for him. But days like this make it worthwhile. It might not be quite as worthwhile as it was looking at half-time. Jesús Navas. Nasri, he was trying to control it. It ran on for David Silva. Another goal kick. Still more than 20 minutes to go. And the potential of extra time, of course, if Sunderland can strike again.
City can just afford to be more controlled. Navas will be an important part of the counter-attack. A couple in the last few minutes, but not had the real quality on them yet.
Martin Atkinson has been very mindful of the occasion here, and physical challenges that might not go unpunished in the routine Premier League games. To develop, and there's an attack developing for Manchester City here until the self-same Mr. Atkinson blows his whistle.
I thought he got that one wrong. Looked like a good challenge from Zabaleta.
Bardsley. For Borini, it comes to a key. It was sloppy from Manchester City. The cross by Alonso. Had some danger written on it. Kolarov. Well, they're not across the finishing line yet. Manchester City. Fletcher following up.
It's a good chance. Fletcher just plays it back into an area, heads it back into an area. Gardner does well, call back. Just not enough on the strike and straight down Pantilimion's throat.
Kompany. I'm sure Dennis Stewart, of course, has a foot in both camps here, but thinking of that win he was part of in 1976, he scored a goal up there with the standard of the two we've seen from Manchester City here today. Here's Key. Marcus Alonso. Colback. Key. Always too high for Basel. It's amazing how football has changed. It was, what, 15 years ago that Man City were playing at the old Wembley to get out of the third tier of English football. A play-off against Gillingham that they seem to have lost.
Ever since the stadium got built, and the investment, the new owners, a different club altogether.
Stadium that's shortly to be expanded to over 60,000. Capacity. Been a good response from Sunderland. Typified there by Marcus Alonso.
And Demichelis not going back into the box, staying up.
Bardsley. It's offside, Craig Gardner. That's where the high line works.
And they get the rewards from it. holding that line, saying we're not going to go back into that 18-yard box, come what may.
A really big day for Manuel Pellegrini. City get the trophy. It's a genuine breakthrough for him in his long career. He was told, I think, only 5 trophies in 5 seasons is expected of him. I'm pleased to get the 5 seasons mentioned.
Any 5?
Well, he wanted to count the Asia trophy, I think. Brian Kidd came out when they'd won it and said, there's 1 down. And I don't think the owners were thinking along those lines. Here's Alonso. Gardner trying to get in again and again being given offside.
It's a little bit dangerous from City, particularly if there's no pressure on the ball and people can time their runs. But again, you can just see there at the back, Colback, Demichelis steps out, and Kolarov. It's really close.
6 Sunderland players forward. Try and find a legitimate position.
I think the confidence that this would give City for the rest of the season would be big. Chelsea and Liverpool both laying down the gauntlet in the league. They've got some catching up to do. You wouldn't want a defeat on your books going into a title race.
Of course, they're falling behind in matches compared to the teams above them in the Premier League, Manchester City. They've dropped to 4th. I think we can see how Liverpool have managed without Borini this season. It's been a very good signing for Sunderland on loan. Well, Emanuele Giaccherini, who was coming on for Catamol, so they are taking off a more defensive midfield player to try and use these last 14 minutes to get a goal. They're risking losing more. That's the risk they have to take. But conversely, Manuel Pellegrini is going to try and batten down the hatches a little bit. Javi García, much more defensively inclined than the man who's replacing David Silva.
Being replaced by 14, Javi García.
He's moving Yaya Touré forward into that number 10 position. Colback's gone from the left side of midfield for Sunderland in to join Key and Gardner. Giaccherini on the left. Still keeping that 4-5-1, but it's more of a 4-3-3 now.
You think of the City, Jack Rodwell not on the bench. Stevan Jovetic injured, Nastasic injured. Still got a cast of internationals here, and they lead. They come from behind at half-time. They lead very gallant Sunderland by 2-1.
Garcia will give them some aerial strength as well. Bolster that department.
Kompany. Here's Zabaleta. Touré can be picked out here. Here he is. Well, it was an easier position compared to the one from which he scored.
A square pass to Džeko in the middle of the goal. John O'Shea had read the pass to Yaya Touré.
Key gave it away. Tries to take it back on. And he went for a ball there with Javi García. And you see that happening, a player chasing a ball that's rolling away from him. You wonder whether there's going to be a nasty collision, but he kept his studs down.
He has let this game go, Martin Atkinson. I'd say he's reffed it really well.
He hasn't gone looking for trouble, has he?
No.
And it's an admirable thing to say about a referee.
Well, we've seen big games ruined in these last few weeks by players being sent off. Not much danger of that today, even though he isn't averse to the odd red card, Martin Atkinson.
When you say the occasional red card, or rather than the eccentric red card, the use of the word odd. Nothing odd about what's coming up later. Aston Villa against Norwich. It's very significant, of course, down at the bottom end, the Sunderland end, if you like, of the Barclays Premier League. And And how about this? Atletico Madrid looking to do a La Liga double over Real Madrid for the first time for 63 years. Interesting choice, eh? On the Sky Sports when we finished here. But we're not finished here yet. At least 10 minutes or so to go. Still close enough for extra time to be in contention, if you like. Jesús Navas. Corner.
He provides something different than Silva and Nasri. Nasri not in a rush, as you'd expect.
I think, obviously because of the clock, but he's also going to enjoy the reception he's getting from the City fans who had a very good view of a truly wonderful goal. The second of two for Manchester City. Put them in prime position here. Oh. Dennis Stewart, where are you? Would have been right out of the former Manchester City's man overhead kick speciality.
Half the crowd thought it was in. Just well, he holds off Wes Brown. It's a really good contact on it, Vincent Kompany.
That would have nailed it. Colback. The Navas factor again. Fresh, fast. And the card shown.
Well, that's the one where he's got no choice, Martin Atkinson. The player's being pulled back.
Comes Mannone. Just not be the happiest of birthdays for him in the end. That is 26 today.
I have no idea why goalkeepers just don't catch the ball. It's such a softly placed thing, just pick it up.
Here's Touré. Plenty of options. He turned away from the wrong way, if you like, to defend, but it was the right way because he did defend, Marcos Alonso.
Yeah, he got himself into a difficult position. He did really well in the end to recover.
Eight minutes of stoppage time away from Manchester City's Capital One Cup. Work by Fletcher and they're streaming forward as they have to do. Bardsley tempted to have a shot. And there are one or two other options which I think his manager would have rather he'd explored. Easy to that flies into the top corner. No one's catching Gus Poyet running down that far touchline.
Reading his lips, just saying pass the ball. He did have options outside in Phil Bardsley.
And the time to be added on is a consideration from the Sunderland perspective. Džeko. Up towards Fletcher. Kompany beats him capably. Džeko. Hands off Kiev. Put in such a shift.
Coming up to 84 minutes, they've had 82 good ones, Sunderland. You could even argue they've been probably the better team at times. Not been a vintage City performance by any stretch of the imagination, but two wonderful moments.
The greater individual components. Sunderland, you could say, bigger than the sum of their individual parts. Proper teamwork, which we love from football, of course. But Manchester City had to delve into their vaults of individual talent to equalise through Yaya Touré and to lead through Samir Nasri. Truly great Wembley Stadium goals. Here is Touré. Fizzer of the cross. Retrieved by Navas. Zabaleta trying to get in on the act.
Oh, both right backs cutting in, trying to hit it from distance with the left foot.
Well, many in the morning papers were saying we wouldn't have a fight to the finish here. It was more of a formality than the credibility of Manchester City, underestimating Sunderland. They've shown why they've had such excellent results in cup football this season.
So first half, Sunderland with a better team. City just didn't arrive at the game at all. There you go.
Here comes the beast. Straight swap for Džeko.
I would have thought so.
Taken on by Gardner. Fletcher to measure it for Giaccherini. Back who's more central now since Giaccherini came on, but it's behind him. And Jesús Navas is away here. Džeko and Touré in the middle for Manchester City.
There's a poor pass to Navas from Džeko. He could have played him a lot more narrow.
Nasri. A bit of keep ball. The City also bringing the frustrated challenge. It'll be interesting to see whether they put the free kick into the box. Here comes Negredo's chance to appear at Wembley. He will hope it's just for 3 or 4 minutes. And it is Edin Džeko, who hasn't extended his run of scoring in every round to the final.
Well, they've managed these last 5 or 6 minutes well to slow the game down. Džeko, probably the slowest walk I've ever seen. The ball's exactly where they want it, in this corner.
Well, I've seen players get yellow cards for departing at that trudgingly slow pace. Martin Atkinson hasn't been in that kind of mood. He'll surely make sure Sunderland have proper time added on. On is Negredo, who's been troubled by a shoulder injury recently. Gardner, Borini, Fletcher. Here's Giaccherini. Negredo sticking out a foot. A chance for Sunderland to launch it into the Manchester City penalty area. The man who's going to be entrusted with this is, I think, the goalkeeper, Mannone. High line again.
It's important for City to stay out away from their goalkeeper, leave him that space.
Pantilimon thought about coming, decided wisely not to. Fletcher, oh!
What is he doing?
He's trying to get it onto his stronger left foot. And in that moment of hesitation, the chance was lost, and maybe the cup final was lost.
He just has to play it back across goal. Just smash it back across goal with your right foot. Fernandinho's trying to close off that near post, just there now, hit it there. Wes Brown, back post, tapping. Tries to control it, he can't believe it.
He's done quite well to control himself, I think, Gus Poyet. Not let his player down with extravagant gestures. To be fair to Fletcher, as I understand it, he's nowhere near fit enough really to be out there. Only on one leg Achilles tendon trouble that he's had. Here comes Marcos Alonso. Key if he can counter-attack here. Demichelis. It's what, 5 against 2 to wrap up the Capital One Cup.
Navas is the pass.
And here he comes, Jesús Navas. It's Manchester City trophy. They break the length of the Wembley pitch to get the third and crucial goal and finish off brave Sunderland. After a stuttering first half, Manchester City had poured on the power and broken Sunderland hearts in the second period. City 3, Sunderland 1.
Well, they're celebrating already. They've got their first trophy of the season, Manchester City. It was tougher in the first half, but that counter-attack has been on all second half. Fernandinho wins a good tackle. And as you say, it was 5v2. The only question was, one, could Yaya Touré find the right person? He did. And could Navas finish? He side-foots it into the near post of Mannone. A good weighted pass from Yaya Touré. I think he may do better, the goalkeeper. Just bends his hand back. But for Navas, a goal in a cup final at Wembley. Confidence. Pellegrini wins one of those trophies in that target he's been set.
Well, it's the pain of defeat at one end, and the jubilation of victory at the other, and the City fans have had a fantastic angle on City's second half firepower. And you just go back to poor Stephen Fletcher in that moment. Could have eked out extra time. Mauricio Taricco and Gus Poyet, tight team of management. They've got plenty to be proud of to get it Sunderland anywhere near Wembley, and they might be back if they beat Hull next weekend. They'll be back for an FA Cup semi-final. Navas. Negredo. That wasn't an intentional foul, but Marsley went over him. Negredo's kicked the ball away, and that, I think even in these circumstances, should be a booking. What choice has he given the referee?
Well, no consolation to him and his players. How well they played at times in this game. They end up with nothing. You see the emotion on his face there, Gus Poyet. Those 3 big moments, the quality for Manchester City. I think you mentioned it, Mart. It's been about the individuals, not the team performance for City today. Not been at the best.
Here's Key. Challenged by Fernandinho. Well, that's what money can buy you. Buy you very, very good players. It's up to the staff to turn them into a team. And that's not to say that Pellegrini hasn't done that, but today it's been about some individual brilliance. You can say the last goal was a team goal, a counter-attacking goal. And
they've been a team for most of this season, City. I think the test is, when you're not playing well, can you win games? And that's what they've done here today. And they give them great confidence for what's ahead for them.
dying seconds at Wembley. The Sunderland supporters, many of whom have made very long journeys, not just from the northeast, but from all around the world. The scarcity of seeing their side play. The first time they played in this new Wembley. And they have had, apart from the result, full value from the team. Gardner's free kick. Zabaleta backpedals. A different ending to that FA Cup final for City against the side that was relegated, Wigan, last May. was almost a sympathy decision, because I think City were in again. I'm sure it wasn't, but Martin Atkinson has decided to give the last free kick, probably, in a game that he's refereed extremely well. It's added time at Wembley. Taken by Key. There might be one more attack. Negredo, Nasri, Zabaleta. Nasri certainly flicking into positive thinking again, rather than initially wanting to keep the ball and just see it out. Zabaleta. It's Manchester City's Capital One Cup. It's the first trophy for Manuel Pellegrini since he left South America, and the chance of more to come before the end of the season. But he needed great goals from great players to turn it round. Samir Nasri put them in front after an extraordinary equaliser from Yaya Touré, a real Wembley specialist, the Ivorian these days. And then Jesús Navas rounded off a very late counter-attack. City behind at half-time, Sunderland excellent in the first half. Kompany culpable as Borini gave them a lead in the 10th minute. But in the end, Gary, it is a League Cup final that has gone, finally, to league form.
Yes, in the end, they just had power, Manchester City. Like you say, that minute just took the game away from Sunderland. Two absolutely magnificent strikes. Yaya Touré had such a poor game up to that point. He turned it for them, as we've seen so many times.
Manuel Pellegrini has done it. He lifts his arms aloft. The Manchester City fans celebrate. Manchester City are League Cup champions for 2014. Samir Nasri, man of the match performance from him. Vincent Kompany lifts that trophy aloft. If he does just drop the base, which seems to happen quite a lot. And there you go, sensational celebrations for Manchester City. Heartbreak for Sunderland, but it is the blue side of Manchester that will celebrate this evening. Manuel Pellegrini is with Guy Havard.
Manuel, in your first season in England, you have the first trophy of the season. How happy are you right now?
Well, very happy. I think the team deserves this cup because we play very well during the whole cup. We scored a lot of goals. We just conceded 2 goals in the whole cup. So to start winning the first trophy, I think it's very important for all, for the club, for the player, for me, for the staff, all of us.
Happy now, but were you angry at half-time?
I think that we are not doing the things well. Sunderland played a very good match also. They were very close, and we didn't move the ball as fast as we need. But I think that in the second half, we arranged it. We scored 2 beautiful goals, and we have the patience to wait for the moment.
Did the whole game change really on that wonderful moment from Yaya Touré?
Yes, he's a top player. He normally changes the games. But I think that also we didn't deserve to lose the first half. I think it was very close. They scored in 1 counter-attack. But in the second half, I think that we were a better team.
And now you have your first major trophy in Europe. What does that mean to you personally?
No, very important because now in a very important club that you can win trophy. That for me is the most important thing, and we hope we can continue in the future.
Well done today.
Okay, thank you.
He looks like he needs a good night's sleep, doesn't he, poor old Manuel Pellegrini. Jamie, at half-time, you were saying they should be panicking. Before kick-off, you had some questions about Manuel Pellegrini, just how good he was. Has he answered some of those for you?
He's a champion now. He's won a major trophy. That's what all the question marks before he arrived, saying, well, why have they gone for someone like him? Never really won anything in a major tournament. But in fairness today, he's done that, and he's changed the perception. And I think it's important that he builds on this now, because he's got a wonderfully gifted squad that's capable of not just winning the Capital One Cup, but also winning the league this year. They've still got 2 games in hand on Chelsea, 4 points behind, and there's no reason why they can't make up that deficit, because if you look at the class players they've got, we've all watched them today. I mean, they have got, it's a dream job, and I think that's what he's got to do now. He's got to take this club to the next level, because the expectations are there and he has to live up to them.
OK, let's hear from the Manchester City captain. He's with Guy.
Vincent, did you find a way to win today without being at your best?
No, I think the first half was not a good performance, but the second half we were good. We were the better team in the second half. Yeah, we had to improve, and we came out and we showed some really good stuff, and the goals we scored were unbelievable. So, you know, we showed quality, but obviously not in the first half.
You said the motivation was that defeat here at Wembley in May. The feeling now, describe it to us.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best stadium for me. It's the best stadium in Europe, maybe in the world when it comes to football venues, and you know, just lifting the trophy here is something special. So, you know, never take anything for granted, and you know, we'll enjoy every moment.
Do you feel you got so much quality in this side? We saw it today when you needed it most, that you can go on and win other trophies this season.
You know, it's the first. I think we should be hungry for more, but it's nothing more than that. I think we've achieved something great for the club, and we need to carry on.
And just quickly, a word on the new manager. What's he brought, and how important has he been?
You know, he's obviously taught us a certain style of playing the game, and mostly I think our fans enjoy it, and if we win trophies like this as well, I think we'll enjoy the time here.
Yeah, you go enjoy the celebrations. Well done today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Guy. How important now was it that Manuel Pellegrini won this trophy, particularly in regard to their form recently and the loss last season?
The near-term form, it was really important that arrest was sorted out. You know, that they got the, I suppose, the benefit of getting back into vogue and into shape. You know, it'll bring them right through to their next few games. That's the short-term relief of it all. But long-term, he's setting the standards. You know, he's a man who I think can go on to win the other trophies. He could have had a real problem if this trophy didn't go his way.
Do you agree, Kev?
Yeah, I do, and I think it's come at the right time of the season now that we're getting into the business end of the season. This will give everyone at the club, all the players, a huge boost after their little run that they've just had. They leave the pitch today full of confidence, and they'll be looking forward now to the running at the rest of the season. As you said, they're still in every other competition. They're still playing for the Premier League. They've got a tough task at Barcelona, I think, next week. Can't see them overcoming it, but you never know. You just never know.
How is this win going to inform the rest of the season, Jamie? What sort of effect do you think it's going to have?
It has to have a positive one. Anytime you win a trophy, it's just great for the environment, it's great for everybody that works for the club. I think back to Jose Mourinho when he won his first trophy. He identified this as the one he wanted to win because it was the first one that was available. And that just sets the standards for the rest of the season. Everybody can now relax. It just takes that little bit of pressure off. They've got so much to look forward to. I mean, there's no reason. It's going to be extremely difficult. There's no reason why they can't go to Barcelona, maybe turn that around. They've still got the Premier League. They've got the FA Cup. You know, they could end up with a treble. Who knows? So, I mean, he will be absolutely delighted because all that pressure that was on Pellegrini to start with has now been taken, that weight off his shoulders now.
There are real expectations for any manager that takes over at Manchester City, aren't there, now? And this must be helpful for him mentally to be able to put that first one to bed.
Because it's a football club that are in a hurry to dominate world football. That's the message we hear from the owners, and you're under that pressure straight away. And when you win the first trophy you can go for, that's a fantastic start. And he'll be feeling so much better about being manager of Manchester City tonight. He'll get a good night's sleep as well, which we mentioned.
Well, not sure about that.
He strikes me, though, as somebody who'll just take it all in a stride all the same and build and deliver for the next trophy. And that's what they want to hear. The fans want to hear that at Manchester City. They want to be a powerhouse. And I think they might just have the man, I really do, to bring them certainly near-term success in the next year or two.
They had a poor first half by their own standards as well. And Jamie said, you know, we're going to see the measure of Pellegrini at half-time. What's going to happen at half-time? Were you impressed by what he's managed to do at half-time in terms of turning that performance around for Manchester City?
Yeah, definitely. But let's not underestimate what Sunderland did in the first half. I think that's, you know, had a lot to do with what Sunderland did. They put them under pressure.
Will that be a concern for Pellegrini then?
Maybe a little bit, yeah. You know, a big game. They didn't respond out the way he wanted to, but you know, they got the job. They got over the line in the end with 2 world-class finishes. And when you've got world-class on the pitch, you know, like say the game changes within a minute and a half.
We spoke about, you know, what Pellegrini did. I mean, it was what Yaya Touré did.
Yeah.
I mean, he's from fully 30 yards. He's bent one right in the top corner. I mean, there's not a lot of, you know, manager can't say to him, look, I want you to go and do this next time you get the ball. It just happens. That's what genius can.
But he kind of expects that it will at some point. And I think I'd say now, a testament to Sunderland that it took something like that to wrestle control of the game.
2 incredible goals changed the whole thing, and Sunderland can't be blamed for either goal. They were fantastic. But what I liked about what I think Pellegrini did at half-time, he got them on the front foot straight away. And Nasri, who hadn't had a kick in the first half, I don't know what he said to him at half-time, but he's coming one man of the match. You know, brilliant goal as well. And it's really tough on Sunderland. That's so tough to take. They can hold their heads high, of course, because they did very, very well. But when you're playing against genius and world-class, players capable of being world-class, and they come to do it to you on the big stage, you've got to hold your hands up and say, that's why they're world-class, that's why they're paid the money they are, that's why they're so brilliant. And Sunderland are suffering tonight, but they can look back on it, you know, with some form of content. They've got to lift themselves now and do well in the league.
Important league form to return, isn't it? That's what they're really after. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll look at the final in detail. Borini gave Sunderland the lead with a stunning finish in the first half. But then it was some magic from Touré, a cracker from Nasri, and Navas put the icing on the cake, which meant that it's City who are the League Cup champions for 2014.
Mouth-watering prospect.
Messi against Hart, scores. Dani Alves, 2-0. The most fascinating face-off between England's two most decorated clubs. Sturridge! The drama of the North London derby. Giroud coming in.
Finest players on the planet about to do battle. What an immense goal! Fernandinho finds the back of the net.
Luis Suarez, brilliant. Super Suarez.
That is magnificent.
We've had a cracking start to Magnificent March, unless, of course, you're a Sunderland fan. Manchester City are the League Cup winners. Sunderland came here as underdogs. They led the game right up to the interval, but heartbreak after half-time. Some world-class brilliance from the City players. The fans are proud. How's Gus Poyet feeling? He's with David Craig.
Gus, commiserations, but has your team gone down with honour today?
I think that's the main thing to talk about, the way that we play against one of the top teams in the world, with plenty of power, quality, money, best players. We have a goal. We were 1-0 up, and the chance to score the second goal, that maybe that was the difference today. And then we knew that everything had to go for us. We knew it. Now a little foul, no given, a wonder goal from Yaya Touré, and then an incredible finish from Nasri. So there were things that at least you expect today not to happen, but I'm proud of the players, I'm proud of the fans. I can promise them that we gave the best shot that we had.
You picked Fabio Borini to start today. He repaid that faith in you. Could he, though, have had further goals in that opening 20 minutes?
Yeah, probably. I think that Fabio, we're playing there for a reason. As you see, I thought it was an understanding of the team that what we needed to achieve with Fabio Borini up front. We used him well. He took the goal fantastic. He nearly had another great opportunity. Another day maybe he takes, so who knows, a penalty or a red card, but it was a great tackle for Kompany. We used him well. Like I said, I think for 50+ minutes we were more than a decent team, and I think that the fans, they need to feel proud because the players try the best.
You mentioned the quality of Manchester City's goals. Is there anything you can do to defend against that type of quality?
No, I think the only way is to put a goalkeeper in that place before he shoots, and you see him coming, he cannot be there. But even the second one, I don't know if he hit the Nasri, you know, with a full boot or a little bit of sheen as well, but it was an absolutely outstanding finish. And that's the best part of what we are all about. You know, to beat us today, Man City has to score 2 wonder goals. You know, in another day, if they don't, they will have a problem. So, again, I repeat, difficult to take. I hate it. I hate losing, but I'm proud of the players.
Can this prove a platform, though, for you to build on with regards to staying in the Premier League? And, of course, you're only another game away from coming back to Wembley in an FA Cup semi-final.
That's what we talk in the dressing room now. Now it's up to us. You know, we prove it for a while in here. I think we should make sure that we do it every week, because if we do this work every week, I'm sure we will stay in the Premier League and we will have a great chance to come back to Wembley.
Gus, we wish you well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is crucial, isn't it, now, that they can turn this cup form that's been so great into form in the Premier League?
Correct, and it was good to hear him talk that they've already spoken about it in the dressing room today, because they've got to turn up tomorrow or whenever they're next in, and it's got to be out of their mind totally what happened here today. Maybe hold on to the bits that were good and be proud of what they did, but concentrate going forward now and lifting the club out of the problem that it's in.
Kevin, you played in 2011 for a Birmingham City side that won the trophy and then got relegated. How do they avoid what happened? And they didn't win, of course, but how do they avoid getting into the position that Birmingham City got into that year?
Well, they haven't got to celebrate for about 3 months what we did. That's what probably cost us.
So it's a bonus.
Yeah, it's a bonus now. Yeah, like Manuel said, they've got to come in whenever next. This is done and dust. They can't do nothing about it. They've already talked about the rest of the season, and they've got to concentrate on that now. You know, it was difficult for us. I think we probably did celebrate a little bit too long, and you know, it cost us in the end. So I sincerely hope that doesn't happen to Sunderland.
Let's just remind you what happens to clubs that win the League Cup. Swansea, of course, won 2 out of 11 after winning. Liverpool 4 of 13. Birmingham, as we were just saying, 2 of 12. It's really only United the exception, Niall, that bucked the trend and actually built on the momentum from a League Cup win. Yeah, it's interesting because you put so much into it, and as Kevin says, you celebrate it, and not like celebrating the old days, but you have parades around your town. I can remember ringing Kev and wishing them well and congratulating him. They were going off to a parade, and he went, I'm more worried about what's going to happen in the next few weeks. He was the oldest player at the club at the time, and he said, these guys are... He's the oldest player at most of his clubs. Let's face it now, come on.
For the last 10 years.
Yeah, but it was very interesting to see the demise, and every time I'd text him, he'd go, told you. So it's important, you know, for both sides. I mean, I think Manchester City will kick on now. They've got different targets, different mentalities in that dressing room. But Sunderland too, you know, that they don't get caught into that kind of rut where the games just go away from you.
Jamie, let's look back at those goals, particularly that first one from Yaya Touré, because it was world-class, wasn't it?
Let's have a look at 1-1. It was a big moment in this game, and there certainly was a few moments. First of all, I just got to draw your attention to Seb Larsson. Gus Poyet was frustrated, upset, thought it might have been a foul.
Yeah, what do you reckon?
I just don't think he anticipates it, first of all. Silva just nips in front of him, and then Nasri makes a block. But what it does, it has a consequence on the rest of this move, because you can see that he's on the floor there, Ben.
Yeah.
And he's limping around. Yaya Touré's got a little bit of time, and you can see that he's still limping. And like there, he's just turned his back on Yaya Touré. I'm not saying he would have stopped it, but what he might have done is just maybe gone and pressed him and just maybe changed his mind. But when this ball falls to big Yaya Touré, he just hits the most incredible shot. I mean, take nothing away from that. That is pure genius. But I'm just looking at how it may have been stopped. But Niall, it's a world-class strike, isn't it?
It's fantastic. The manager thinks there might have been a foul. We looked at it a couple of times. I don't think there's anything you can do about it. You know, the goalkeeper isn't even that far off his line. No. He gets it up and down. It's like one of those free kicks he takes. It's just impossible to save.
He actually has a look, though. Just before that, he has a quick look up to see where the goalkeeper is, and he's meant to put it in that.
Absolutely. Well, let's look at this foul more closely, because in Europe, it could have been. Let's just have a look, because as his foot goes up there, Seb Larsson, you can see Samir Nasri's foot is higher.
He's got the ball.
Gets the ball. He does get a little bit of a touch, but I watch a lot of Champions League football, as we all do. Yeah. The chances are, what do you think, Kevin? Do you think that could have been...
Jamie, I don't think it's a foul. I actually think it's a foul on Silva from Larsson just in the build-up to that. If you run it back a little bit more, I actually think it's a foul. But here...
Just a bit further.
Yeah, just a little bit further back.
Yeah, Larsson was sluggish.
He was slow to anticipate it, wasn't it?
Larsson just gives him a little nudge in the back here. So I actually think that's a foul on Silva. And here you see clearly that Nasri, had a studge up a little bit, but he wins the ball first, and Larsson kicks him.
Yeah.
So I don't see that's not a foul.
Foul for you now?
No foul. I think Seb was probably arguing with the referee because he knows he was wrong and delayed winning the first ball, and Nasri caused the problem in the first place.
But it definitely had a little consequence there. But after that, it was 59 seconds of crazy football. 2-1. It's brilliant. Absolute quality from so many different points.
Was this a shinner, Gus Poyet?
I don't think it is. But first of all, I want to draw your attention to this. There's Samir Nasri. He's going to make an excellent run just in here. That's the first move I want to talk about. Then, after that, these two. Adam Johnson and Kolarov. And I think it's almost a straight race between these two. And what Adam Johnson doesn't do is follow the run. And this is one of the first times in the game that I think Sunderland almost lose their shape. There's Kolarov, there's Nasri, there's Džeko, and there's the goal scorer, Nasri. And you can see that, I just think they lose their shape. Look at that. There's John O'Shea. Look how deep he is. And it's one of the only times in the game where, and I think the goal has really thrown them out. And it's a good cross, But it takes a large deflection off Barnsley, and then he hits that so well. Is it a shinner? Not in my opinion. I think we have a look at it here. No, is that a shinner?
It's beautiful. You can see it starts outside. I'm not going to give any criticism for that goal. It was absolutely first class. And I think the role Agüero played in that goal should not be overlooked, because it looked, for all intents and purposes, it was a punt. There was two centre-halves who were going to deal with it. He got hold of it, he controlled it, he split the two defenders and laid the ball off. And by the time it made its way across, of course, you can point to the things that went wrong with Sunderland's defence on it, but it's a world-class finish.
At that point, though, as Jamie was just pointing out, that the structure sort of all felt... Is that forgivable? Because, you know, Sunderland had pressed so hard and at some point it felt like it had to give.
They just backed off Agüero once and allowed him to turn and set the whole thing up. And I think that's probably what the manager would look at most out of that. Things happen, people put them in the top corner, and you can't really say a lot about it. But I just wonder, had Wes Brown really bustled Agüero out of it as he went to control it. He stood back off him and allowed it to happen. And
I would just like to compliment, because Samir Nasri is one of those players that I think he's almost in the shadow of Silva and Negredo and all these players that they have. He doesn't really get the credit he deserves. And he's missed sort of a couple of months of the season, and that has, in effect, it really made a difference to how they've been playing. He's such an important player in this side, and you can see it there, winning goal. He has really big moments in football matches.
A huge swing in momentum, of course, with the first goal, then the second goal coming so quickly afterwards. And what about the third goal, Kevin?
Third goal was just classic counter-attack, wasn't it? Sunderland were pressing, and they had a chance. Fletcher had a great chance when he could have pulled it with his right foot. He chose to try and take a touch, but, you know, what's this, 5 versus 2? There's only one outcome, isn't there? As long as Yaya Touré picks the right pass, in which he does, and the keeper, maybe you look at it from another angle. I think you look at it from a different angle. Maybe this one coming up, the keeper could do better, but, you know, City break with such pace and power. Once Yaya Touré gets it in that position, you know, 5v2, it's trouble. And there's only one outcome, and no surprise, the ball's in the back of the net.
We said beforehand, for Sunderland to do well, Mannone's going to have a great day. And when you look at that there, that kind of summed it up. He wasn't bad today by any stretch of the imagination, but on a day when a goalkeeper has it off, they save them easy, and they may just get a hand to Yaya Touré's, but it didn't happen for Mannone today.
So, Jamie, let's look forward for Manchester City now, the rest of the season. How do you see it panning out?
Well, the guys are giving me a little bit of stick because I said there's no reason why Man City can't turn over that deficit at Barcelona.
I thought of 11 reasons.
I could think of one, actually, Messi. But look, they've got it all to do. But what I'm trying to say, I've seen stranger things happen in football. They've got so much to look forward to. It just takes that bit of pressure off them now. From Sunderland's point of view now, they've got to kick on. They've got to take a lot of what they did today into the rest of the season and make sure that they stay in this Premier League now.
It's hugely, hugely important. Gents, I've very much enjoyed your company today. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Niall. Jamie, as ever, has been an absolute pleasure. Don't forget, you can follow more reaction to Manchester City's victory this afternoon on Sky Sports News and skysports.com. Coming up right now on Sky, Premier League action at Villa Park. Norwich have just gone one up, a significant game as Aston Villa take on Norwich. Wes Hoolahan with the goal there. That's at Sky Sports 3. In the Madrid derby is 1-1 for City fans and for Sunderland fans. A bit of football gold for you. Charlton versus Sunderland, Gillingham versus Manchester City. That's coming up next right here on Sky Sports 1. So what a day we've had here at Wembley. It looked as if Manchester City were going to suffer more Wembley heartache, but 3 goals in the second half has given Manuel Pellegrini his first trophy as City manager, and for their wealthy owners, a feeling that money can't buy. Bye-bye.
Watch all 6 Sky Sports channels on your mobile and online.
No consolation for him, Gus Poyet.
Sunderland beaten as they were at the old Wembley in their only other League Cup final 29 years ago, but now hoping to avoid the runner-up and relegation double of 1985. The third win in the competition for Manchester City. 1970, 1976, and now 2014. And you can't argue with the stats. Just 2 goals conceded, one of them, of course, today. 22 goals scored. Pantilimon being congratulated by Joe Hart, who had to play second fiddle to the Romanian today. And let's get some City reaction now. Guy Havard is with Yaya Touré.
Yaya, you scored one of the great Wembley goals. Did it need a bit of magic to turn it round for City today?
Oh, well, it was unbelievable, you know. I think we need to win today, you know. It was very important, and I think Sunderland made it difficult for us in the first half, and but I think it's unbelievable, you know. We deserve it, and we played well in the second half, yeah.
What did the manager say at half-time?
Oh, yeah, you know, the final is only one game, you know, and you need to enjoy it, and you need to win it, you know, and I think today we show we are a great team, and we show we can go until the end of the season, yeah.
You scored some wonderful goals. Was that the best one?
I think yes. It was important as well, and it was fantastic, you know. And Samir as well scored a fantastic goal, and I think the team played very well today, and we deserve to win today, yeah.
Were you very disappointed with the first half performance?
A little bit, you know, because it's always like that, you know, and I think Sunderland showed great spirit, you know, in the first half, and I think for us it was more important to continue to play well, and I think today we show we are a good team, yeah.
Yeah, thanks very much for your time, Samir. You've had some misery here, haven't you, with Arsenal and Manchester City? How much joy for you to be man of the match and score that second goal?
So much joy, so much pride as well, because, like you said, I lost my 2 finals that I played here, and today was really important to win. Our first half, you know, it was a little bit some memories of the game against Wigan, but in second half, we came with better intention, and we scored 3 goals. I'm really happy. I hope that this cup is going to bring some others.
As a team, though, at half-time, did you feel under pressure? Because it wasn't quite happening for you, was it?
Yeah, but, you know, we were still confident. We just said that we need to stay calm, to remain focused and to play our football, to play higher up with more tempo, and we will make the difference, and that's what we did.
A trophy today, the first of the season, but more to come possibly. Will this be a boost for you?
I hope so, you know. We want to win everything. We're going to compete for the league, for the FA Cup, and we're going to try to make something in Champions League, even if it's going to be difficult. But like I said, I hope that this cup's going to bring confidence to the team, and we'll fight till the end.
Well done today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Guy. It was a cracking cup final, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Kevin Phillips, Niall Quinn, Jamie Redknapp sitting alongside me. Kevin, what did you make of that second half performance from City?
They did well. It wasn't vintage Man City, but they got the job done, and you know that's why you pay thousands and thousands of pounds a week for world-class players, and it took 2 world-class finishes from Yaya Touré and Samir Nasri to get them back in the game, and then, you know, a clinical finish from Navas at the end to kill the game off. But credit to Sunderland, they kept fighting, but we said at half-time, can they continue that work rate? You know, getting 2 men around every City's player, and they just couldn't manage to do it. But 2 fantastic finishes from 2 world-class players who were ineffectively very quiet during the game.
They were kept quiet by the Sunderland players. Let's get some reaction from the Sunderland captain. John O'Shea is with David Craig.
John, obviously commiserations, but is that a defeat with honour today?
No, look, we're terribly disappointed. The only way you enjoy a cup final is by winning it. We started the game obviously exactly how we wanted to. Counter-attack great, scored a fantastic goal, a couple more chances, and they've scored a great goal to get back into it. We were hoping to get a free kick to the edge of the box. It wasn't to be. We should have maybe got out to him, but look, he stuck it in the top corner from 30 yards out, and then we probably lost a bit of our organisation in the next few minutes, and it's cost us for the second goal. Obviously, we might have had a few half chances, but City obviously finished the game very strong. As I said, the only way you can enjoy a cup final is by winning it. It's not a nice place now. and we have a huge test for the rest of the season to face, and we've got to pick ourselves up very quickly, and I'm sure we will.
Could you have been further in front before City got back in the game?
Yeah, possibly. They're the ifs and buts. That's what you need in a final. As I said, we had some great counter-attacking play. And if we had been a little bit more clinical, but hey, look, City are a good team, we know that. And with credit to them, they deserved winners.
John, well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Desperately disappointing for John O'Shea and Sunderland, of course. Now, that first half, they were sensational. As Kevin was saying, was it purely just at the end of the day, that was the pace of the game just counted to?
And also the brilliance of Yaya Touré, which turned the game on its head, you know, because they were really uncomfortable, Manchester City, and the Sunderland players had worked so hard, and it was just a wham-bam in a minute and a half, the whole thing had turned, and it turned because of brilliance. Those players can feel very proud of what they did for their team today. The record books will say that Sunderland were beaten again at Wembley. To a man, the crowd have stayed behind to applaud them out there. They gave a great showing. They represented their club brilliantly today, but they were beaten by world-class opposition.
Jamie, Martin Tyler
as well. No,
but Martin Tyler said in commentary, didn't he, that Manuel Pellegrini was stood on the sideline looking at his array of world beaters, thinking, I need something special here to get me out of a spot, and that goal really was.
It was a cliche, but goals change games, and never more evident than today, Ben, because Sunderland were playing so well, their shape was good, but all of a sudden in 59 seconds it was turned on its head, and then you're chasing world-class opposition. They even had chances at the end to maybe get it to 2-2. We talk about Stevens Fletcher's opportunity, but I can't honestly say it was a vintage City performance. They just did enough, and those big moments in games from Yaya Touré, from Nasri, that was the difference, because there wasn't a great deal to choose between the two sides up until that. If anything, I'm sure Gus Poyet would have been sat on that, stood on the touchline thinking, you know what, we're good, we've got good shape here, we're dominate, we'll win every single second ball. But as the guys were saying, world-class moments.
Delight for Manchester City and the captain as he makes his way up the steps. Let's join Martin and Gary for the presentation of the trophy.
Yes, Ben, well, one of their great assets is this truly inspiring skipper, Vincent Kompany. And with him, a squad of great individual talents, as we've just seen in the second half. The task for Manuel Pellegrini is to get the team play, and I'm sure today winning a trophy means so much. And although, of course, under Roberto Mancini they have got other trophies in recent years, this for the Pellegrini regime is very, very important. Very clever here with this final that they work it. There's two ways of going up, and the winners go up so that when they go up on that side, the side of the Sunderland fans, when they get up to the top, they will face the City fans, and they're just about to do that. So different, Gary, from the Wigan experience in the FA Cup last May for many of these players.
No, they had pain in May. That tackle he made just before half-time, Vincent Kompany, was a huge moment in the match. John O'Shea referred to it in his interview. But they're back, Manchester City. Well, these are the best moments in football.
Going to get the Man of the Match trophy from Neil Smith, who won a competition, but this is the trophy that really matters. Manchester City are on the trophy trail again. 2014 winners of the Capital One Cup. But goodness me, they had to work hard for this moment. Well, they're getting used, the supporters, to being at Wembley. And it could well be they'll be back in the FA Cup for the semi-finals and maybe a final as well. They are, Gary, final word from you. They're setting Manchester alight, which is not perhaps you want to hear, but you know, they've got the strength and depth, they've got the financial backing to really make this a generational success.
Oh, they're now a huge force. For 20 years they were irrelevant, then they became annoying, and this season they're better. And I'd say he's a big part of it. Those two there, Agüero, Yaya Touré, huge players, take big games by the scruff of the neck, and that's what you need to do.
The pride to Sunderland, the prize to Manchester City.
Martin, thank you very much indeed. So Manchester City, 38 years since they last lifted the League Cup. They are the Capital One Cup champions this year. All the analysis on the cup final from my guests in the studio when we return.